When I bulk, I put on a lot of fat. Yeah, that's because you're eating too much for you and your body. This comment was made on a video where I said that you're not eating enough, and you need to push more food, that's why you're not growing. Now, obviously, this is circumstantial and depends from person to person. You know, one person might need to eat a lot. One person might need to push over 5,000 calories to see any growth, any change on the scale, while some other person might need to only eat 2,600 calories to gain fucking a pound a week. So when I make these statements, or when anybody makes these statements, you have to take them into context. Obviously, I made that video targeted towards people who just don't eat enough, kids who are typically hard gainers and aren't eating enough food, the food that they should be eating to reach their goals. Like I said, you know, I've had clients who literally only need to eat 2,700 calories a day and they will gain a pound a week steadily. And at that point, we might even taper down because it's too much and they're gaining excessive amounts of fat. While other clients that I've had literally need to eat 4,500 calories minimum to see any change on the scale, grow at all, even maybe half a pound a week if they're lucky. And they usually need to push more food than that. So if you're somebody who's bulking and, you know, you just tend to put on a lot of fat, it's because you're overeating for your body and how much you need. So it's about either working with a coach or self-experimentation and finding that sweet spot where you know you're consistently gaining a little bit. Doesn't even have to be half a pound a week. That might even be pushing it, you know, maybe just 1 or 2 or 3 pounds a month. But if you're overdoing that, then you need to be able to analyze how much you're eating and say you need to taper down because you're eating more than you need. You're just putting on fat. And remember, being in a surplus, gaining weight does not mean that you are gaining muscle. Remember that gaining muscle is a very slow process, especially if you're natural. Muscle grows in grams, not pounds. So if you're putting on 10, 15 pounds a month, you know, you're just putting on fat. And like I said, you know, gaining weight does not mean that you're gaining muscle. Let me explain what I mean by that. Being in a surplus is obviously putting your body in the most optimal position to grow and recover, and you're going to have the most amount of fuel. It's just going to put you in a better position, really. But if you're not eating adequate amounts of protein and having quality sources of protein that actually do its job, then it doesn't matter if you're in a surplus. It doesn't matter that you're putting on weight because you're not growing and repairing muscle tissue. You can build muscle in a deficit. You could build muscle at maintenance. You could build muscle in a surplus. Like I said, you know, just being in a surplus is probably going to give you the best chances of putting on the most amount of mass. But none of that matters if you are not eating enough protein and the right sources of protein. But yeah, just because I said you're not eating enough, that does not specifically mean it's pertaining to you. You know your body. If you put on weight super easily, then you probably can easily eat enough. If you're somebody that constantly has trouble breaking past weight plateaus and seeing any type of, you know, movement on the scale, then you are probably not eating enough if you really want to put on mass.